We are ready. Thumbs up. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for braving the rain and coming in and joining us. Welcome to this McLean County regular board meeting this Thursday, July 15th, 2021. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, will please rise for the invocation by Member Woolrat.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to call for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you.
Join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. County Clerk, please call the roll.
Gerald Thompson.
Present.
Shana Wachinski. Benjamin Webb. George Wendt. Lori Woolrab.
Here.
Josh Barnett.
Present.
Hannah Beer.
Present.
Lindsay Bloomfield. Sharon Chung. Oops. Leah Klein.
Present.
Chuck Erickson.
Present.
William John Friedrich.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Here.
Val Lehman.
Present.
Randall Martin.
Present.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
Susan Schaefer. Here. James Soldner.
Here.
John McIntyre.
Here, we have 19 members present, 0 members absent. We do have a quorum. Number 5 on your agenda is appearance by members of the public and county employees in reference to an agenda item. We have 2 members who've applied to speak on the agenda. They are aware that they're not to speak on the wind farm or any part of the zoning board testimony that was going on during the public hearings. And so the first member that's applied to speak on the road agreement would be Mr. Ed Peterson. Mr. Peterson, are you here? Okay. Let's see, Mr. Peterson. Next member that's applied to speak, or person, is Tim Jolly. Is Tim Jolly here? Mr. Peterson, are you going to speak as a public speaker? Okay, thank you. Yes, I am. Okay, thank you very much. I must have missed it, been kind of busy. Okay, Mr. Jolly, you have 3 minutes to speak on the road agreement.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. I did have plans to speak something about the wind project, but I was told within 12 hours ago that I wasn't able to. I would suggest that maybe that the website would have some type of instructions stating what your policies are as far as speaking. It just says that you have to have 24 hours of notice. I did speak in the last EDP and Invenergy projects as public comments. Thought I could do it again today, but evidently not. So we need to clarify that on the website. I am here, though, to speak about the road use agreements. The thing that I live in a farm between Chenal and Lexington, been in our family since 1864, 5th generation farmer. I have 2 generations coming behind me. We live in the middle of the 2 projects that are out there currently, and I've lived on gravel roads and worked. I also work for the post office. I'm a rural carrier, and I've worked and lived on gravel roads for the past 3 years. So I know a little bit about road use and road use agreements and what you should probably be looking out for. The things that I'm concerned about in what we're seeing here, there's the country roads are different than the county roads, and I understand that. The country roads have been tarred and chipped in our areas, but the country roads are still patchwork and they're still not up to date as far as being repaired. So I'm concerned as to the time limitations that you're putting on the repairs that are to be done to the county roads. County roads, in my experience, were just absolutely horrible when the project was going on. They actually ruined, completely totaled 2 of my cars, mail cars, on the mail route. And I'm gonna ask for compensation for that. Also, the things that need to be looked at are just how do the existing road agreements look in the county and how are they being adhered to by this specific company, Invenergy, of whom is gonna be putting in this next project. I was informed today that Chenal Township finally got their payment for all the penalties and everything that was done in their township today. Lexington still is owed several, I think a couple $100,000 for what their fines or penalties are to be done. And Gridley hasn't been paid as well. The thing that concerns me also is in the road agreement that I read in section 7, paragraph P, limitations of liability. And it basically is so ambiguous and just leaves total liability off of any of the wind companies that come in and basically leaves them on the hook. Okay. I would like to invite everybody, any member who wants to come out to my place. You have a standing invitation to come out and just see what it does to the climate and the environment.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the item 6 on our agenda, consent agenda. And you have it before you. What say you? Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Member Barnett. Is there a second? Second by Member Friedrich. Comments, questions, or discussion? Member Metzger.
I'd like to abstain.
All right, thank you.
I likewise would abstain.
Okay, we will take a voice vote. We've got 2 abstentions. Anyone else want to abstain? If not, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have 2 abstentions. You have them recorded. Thank you very much. Item D on the consent agenda is a transfer ordinance which requires 2/3 votes of county board members. In the past, I've handled this by just seeing if anybody's had a negative vote that they wanted recorded. If not, we assume that the transfers are approved unanimously. Is there anyone who wants to have a negative vote recorded? If not, thank you very much. And we'll move on to the standing committee report, executive committee. First of all, Vice Chairman Soldner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Executive Committee has a number of items today for action. First one is 7A1A, request approval of a chairman's recommendation on appointment to the County Board District Number 4. I make that motion.
Thank you. First of all, I'll take the floor and make the appointment if it's okay. I will take a second for the motion by Member Johnston. Okay. At this time, I'd like to make a recommendation for Mr. Jim Rogal to join us and fill a position that was vacant for District 4 for McLean County Board. And all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Mr. Rogal, welcome. Would you please come up to the podium and to be sworn in. It's included now. I think it's included in consent.
Can he come over here?
No, it's fine. Over here.
Over there?
Yeah. Thank you. We usually do it over.
Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jim Rogel,
Having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of McLean County Board Member District 4
of McLean County Board Member District 4
in the County of McLean
in the County of McLean
and the State of Illinois,
and the State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties,
of the office of McLean County Board Member District 4
the office of the duties of McLean County District 4
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Rogal, and we'll give him a seat here at the table to join us. And we'll go back to Vice Chairman Soldner. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next item is 7A1B, request approval of a resolution approving the chairman's appointments to the standing committees, subcommittees, and to the Liquor Control Commission of McLean County Board. I so move.
Motion by Member Soldner. We'll give you an opportunity to go over the committee assignments very quickly, and then I'll entertain a second to the motion. If it's any help to you, Mr. Member Webb, it's requested because of his schedule to move, and I granted that as part of the assignments from Transportation to the Justice Committee in place of Mr. Smith, Member Smith, and Mr. Rogal will go to Transportation and to Property. To Transportation in place of Mr. Webb and to Property in place of Mr. Smith. Those are the only changes on there this time. Are we ready to vote? Yeah, I need a second, yeah. Yeah, second by Member Beer. Thank you. Any comments, questions, or discussion? If none, then all in favor of approving the assigned committee assignments, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you very much, and we'll move on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item is 7A1C, request approval of a contract with Cassie Taylor as the interim county administrator, and I so move.
A motion by Chairman Solver, second by Member Schaefer. Comments or questions or discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye. I'm sorry? Oh, we have a new contract. I forgot.
Sure.
Gone over at the executive committee and passed on from there with some changes. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Are we ready? And we'll take a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion has carried. Thank you very much. Member Solner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all the executive committee has today. Our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes, and I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. We'll go on to item B, Finance Committee, Chairman Metzger.
Thank you, Chairman McIntyre. We have several items to be presented. B1A, request approval of a fee increase for marriage and civil union licenses, and I move that.
Motion by Chair Metzger. Is there a second? Anyone? Second by Member Solner. Comments, questions, or discussion? If none, all All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has carried.
I am going to combine B1, B, and C together, if it so pleases the chair.
Without objection, we're going to combine B and C as items since they're related. Thank you. Go ahead.
Request approval of an animal control removal agreement template and request approval of an animal control shelter agreement template, and I so move.
Motion by Chairmember Metzger, second by Member Lehman. Comments or questions? Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I want to compliment Ms. Taylor for working all day, rolling up her sleeves and her pant legs, go out there when they had the flood and moving animals and help clean that up along with our facility people. So thank you. Go ahead.
Our last item is B1D, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement amending the enterprise zone designation and operation criteria, and I so move.
Motion by Chairmember Metzger. Is there a second? Second by Member Woolrab. Comments or questions? Any discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried.
And we have no other items to present, but our general report can be found on page 19 through 24 of the unapproved meeting minutes.
Thank you very
Chairman.
much. We'll go on to the report of the Health Committee. Chairman Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has one item for action. C1A is request to approve an ordinance in McLean County Board amending the 2021 combined appropriation and budget ordinance for Fund 107, and this requires a 2/3 vote, and I so move.
A motion by Chairman Schaefer, second by Member Beer. Comments or questions? Discussion? It's 2/3 vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any negative votes to be recorded? If not, we'll consider this passing unanimously. Thank you.
That is all we have today. Our general report can be found on pages 25 through 31 of the unapproved minutes packet.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to the report of the Justice Committee. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Justice Committee has one item for action, item 7D1A. Request approval of an agreement for special police services for Illinois State University football games, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Erickson, second by Member Martin. Comments or questions? Member Johnston.
Thank you. I'd just like to abstain.
Abstain?
Abstain.
Yes. Same with Member Klein and Member Webb, who are affiliated with the university. So they three will be abstaining. Any other comments or questions or discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. Thank you.
Our minutes can be found in the general report. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go on to the report of the Land Use and Development Committee. Chairman Wendt.
The Land Use and Development Committee has one item to present, Mr. Chairman. And it's item 1A, request by the McLean County Regional Planning Commission to approve a regional planning service agreement for their fiscal year July 1 through July 2021 through June 30th, 2022. And I so move.
So, motion by Member Wendt, second by Member Klein. Comments or questions? Discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. Thank you.
That's all we have to present.
Okay, we'll go on to the report of the Property Committee. Chairman Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All Property Committee's items were approved in the consent agenda. A copy of our general report may be found in the unapproved minutes packet.
Thank you. We'll go on to the report of the Transportation Committee. Chairman Zollner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Transportation Committee has one item for action. G1A, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Bellflower prohibiting excessive engine braking noise. I so move.
A motion by Chairman Zollner. Is there a second? Second by Member Webb. Comments, questions, discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried.
That's all that transportation has today. Again, I'll be glad to answer any questions, and our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes.
Thank you. We'll go on to the report of Interim County Administrator, Ms. Taylor.
I have no items for action or to present for information tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item 8, which is appearances by members of the public and county employees in reference to an item that is not on our agenda. And we have 3 people that have applied to speak. And we always take these in the order in which applications are called into the office. And our first person that applied to speak is Ms. Althea Schoen. Is she here? Ms. Schoen? If not, we'll go on to the second item, a second person who applied to speak, Ms. Rachel Lund. Yes, you have 3 minutes to speak, and there is the clock on the screen over there if you want to watch as you're going along. Thank you.
Thank you. How's that? Sorry. Okay. Good evening. I was disappointed to hear that the McLean County government had stopped live streaming all county board meetings with the exception of the full board meeting and has required that all public comments be made in person. I'm here today to request that those 2 services be reinstated. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the county board to use existing technology to conduct meetings in a 100% virtual environment for the purpose of protecting public health and safety. The county has also showed that it is capable of conducting hybrid meetings in person and virtual as the restrictions eased up. Over the last 16 months or so, both members of the public and some county board members have enjoyed the convenience of being able to attend and participate in county meetings virtually, which resulted in an increase of public awareness and participation in local government. It was unfortunate that it took a global pandemic for McLean County to make progress in the areas of technology, transparency, and accessibility of meetings. It's even more unfortunate that someone decided to go back to the old way of doing things without input from the board or the public. The benefits of live streaming all county meetings, including the committee meetings, and allowing for members of the public to make comments virtually greatly outweigh the negatives. Benefits include increased transparency of what is happening with county government, increased accessibility for people who are unable to make it to meetings in person, increased public participation, reduced greenhouse gas emissions from driving to and from downtown Bloomington, and reduced risk of catching COVID-19 or any other airborne illnesses. It truly boggles my mind why you would sacrifice all the benefits of live streaming meetings for reverting to the old way of conducting business. The only argument I've heard against live streaming is the cost of operation and alleged need to hire additional IT support. I don't understand how this is possible when there are streaming services available for less than $700 a year. Hopefully the county already has a cost assessment on the various streaming options since you have been hosting virtual and hybrid meetings for more than a year. The public and county board members deserve to hear what options are on the table. Better yet, let's remember to elect county board candidates in 2022 who embrace the use of technology and welcome public participation. Progress means that we do better today than we did yesterday, and that we plan to do better tomorrow than we are doing today. The county is moving backward at a time when we need you to move forward and make progress. The technology exists, so let's use it. I strongly encourage you to reinstate the live streaming functionality of all county board meetings and allow public comments to be made in person or virtually. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Sarah Breeden.
Thank you. Whether a virus affects in-person safety now or in the future, or whether a member of the public has other personal reasons, we have the technology to provide virtual access, and we should do so. Furthermore, it should not matter how many people view and/or participate in a given meeting. Instead, the focus should be on accessibility. This is a representative body, yet beyond voting in elections, opportunities for constituents to express ourselves to the board are limited. We can write or call. We can also request to make public comments at meetings in a brief window of time to speak to the board on the record, which currently must be in person. On the record is important because as brief as the allotted time may be, constituents are permitted to speak, and ideally, members are expected to hear. We can't be sure who is actively listening, who is genuinely interested in input, and as it is common for members to sit stoically, or in the case of Member Wendt, audibly groan and dismissively roll his eyes. But requiring public comment to be in person only makes accessibility and transparency more fleeting. Reverting to in-person comments seems more about limiting participation than anything else. I live in District 5, represented by Member Johnston and Chairperson McIntyre. Member Johnston regularly takes calls and responds to emails and regularly posts on social media about county board issues. Several other board members in other districts from both political parties are also committed to responding, even when the communication is coming from a constituent of another district, and that is appreciated. I am under no illusion whatsoever that Chairperson McIntyre is interested in constituent input on anything. I am confident in this opinion, as he has never returned an email or a voicemail on any topic about which I have contacted him. Many other constituents and even board members themselves from both parties can attest to the same intentional indifference and that often borders on deceit. Contrary to his own lip service, Chairperson McIntyre is not interested in transparency or accessibility. If he were, he would actually champion both by continuing virtual meetings and input as standard operating procedure. Ultimately, as a representative body, the McLean County Board, especially its leadership, should facilitate accessibility and transparency instead of perpetuating the exclusive good old boys club atmosphere, an image of a board that can't be bothered with its pesky constituents.
Thank you, Ms. Breeden, for speaking on the video display of our committees. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Nothing? Okay. Member Solner, do you have anything for other business? I do.
I do not.
You're probably all aware about the flooding situation that we had and that we declared an emergency for our county. The Emergency Management Agency then activated their operations center, had volunteers that went door to door. A number of volunteers came out to help us, including their own volunteer corps, which they always activate for disasters. Also, members from laborers came and helped, Red Cross, Salvation Army, I missed the name of the way. And basically, it was to take as much information in as could be possible. We encouraged anybody who incurred any kind of flood damage, water loss, to definitely try to report into EMA. There is a place on the website for that to call in. It was hopes that maybe we could accumulate enough losses to qualify for FEMA recommendations for federal aid, which is $20 million. That was not met. We are hoping, though, that we can also get some other possibility of aids, or at least provide aid for people in some sort. Illinois Emergency Management Agency became involved as well and has helped conduct the surveys, and they are now going to present and have basically a time available for anybody to come and report in to them, and it's called the MARC Center, or what's it called, Multi-Agency Resource Center, which will be staffed by a number of volunteer agencies, the Red Cross, Salvation Army, et cetera. Some churches are involved, and any other people that want to volunteer to help. And that will be open this Saturday from 10 till 7 at night at the Bloomington Junior High School, which is the corner of Colton and Empire in Bloomington. There have been public announcements out and gone out to all the media about this. And so anyone that comes in, they'll have over 100 people working and tables set up, somewhat like a fair for anyone to go to. We'll have ambassadors meet with them and take them to where they are. They have kept files for anybody who has reported claims. But the public should know if they haven't reported a claim, they should come and report a claim and see what possible help they could get and what kind of aid that they could get along the way. It will also be open on Sunday from 10 till 2 at Bloomington Junior High School. So we encourage everyone to get the word out. We've asked for some volunteers. I know a few members of the board have volunteered already. Appreciate that. And we'll all get over there and see what can be done to help the people in any way possible that we can find to help them. So if anybody have any questions or statements about that. If not, does anybody else have any other business? Yes. Member Wachinski.
Yes, thank you. On that 20 million threshold, do you know, was that only for McLean County, or is there an opportunity?
Yes, it was just McLean County.
There's no opportunity
No.
to combine with
Not unless
other-
emergencies were declared, as I've been informed by EMA, yeah.
And is that also, are these services also available for people who do have insurance, but maybe something wasn't covered?
They can
report
report it and they'll take that into consideration. Yeah, there are, there's farm losses that are insured. There are other types of losses, though they're primarily pertain to property. And of course, there are some homeowners that have insurance for this too. But they can still come and report it and see if there's any possibilities and do the best we can with it. So this is being managed by the Illinois Emergency Management Association. So that's all I have on it. I hope you can come and help out. You can contact Kathy Beck at EMA office. The number is online, or call into our office, and we'll be here tomorrow. And county, I will be going out and getting donations to provide food for workers and help set up. So we'll be seeing you then. Yes. Yeah, Member Erickson.
If you're still on the emergency management, I can wait. I just wanted to address something on other business and
Yeah,
communication
okay, is there
as
any
well.
other comments? Okay, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This week, while when we got the packet for the county board meeting, I did receive 2 phone calls from members of the other party in regards to the wind farm. I won't mention their names to protect their reputations, but they did call me and ask me some questions about it, okay? And it just seemed to me from listening to talking to them that there might be areas of bipartisan agreement that might be reached on our ordinances regarding the wind farms. So it is my hope that the Land Use Committee, which does now have the authority to write ordinances, would take a look at these ordinances and see if there's ways that we can't reach agreement, possibly on subject matters as enforcement, to making sure that the wind farm company is meeting its obligations under the agreements, and other things. So I just wanted to point that out, and I would hope that would be addressed. I'm not asking for them to necessarily come up with a new one, although that certainly would be their right, but to review it and to see if it's sufficient to meet a lot of our needs. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any other business or comments? If not, we'll thank you all for coming and participating, and this meeting's adjourned.